welcome to all of you on behalf of Tushita. And first of all, I would like to welcome Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, who has very graciously agreed to inaugurate our new Ganga. And as you all know probably, that the first rain in Delhi in June was quite devastating for Delhiites. And our whole Ganga got flooded. So we had to redo the whole thing. So this is absolutely new. And Geshe-lam, we are very happy that you have inaugurated the Ganga today. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank all the volunteers and donors who have contributed to this project.
What is he? You can show this.
Geshe-lam is going to give a teaching on the three principal aspects of the Dharma. I think you all have got this booklet. Now, this booklet was prepared actually in 2013 when Tushita and Cadet House organized a teaching by His Holiness the Dalai Lama at the Buddha Janvi Park. And this was the teaching that His Holiness gave over there. So I still remember very clearly that it was a very momentous event for all of us. I'm glad that Geshe-lam will also give his interpretation now of the three principal aspects of the Dharma. As I remember very clearly, His Holiness said that these three principal aspects, namely renunciation, bodhicitta, and wisdom or emptiness, that is the essence of Buddhism. That was his last sentence when he finished his lecture. So, Geshe-lam will give us a taste of this essence today. Just a brief introduction to Geshe-lam, even though he doesn't need it. Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul is currently the director of Tibet House, New Delhi, the cultural center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. While being assigned with this responsibility, he also gives regular lectures and teachings, including giving philosophy classes in Tibet House, besides in many other Dharma centers. He travels widely within India and abroad to teach Buddhist philosophy in psychology, logic, and practice. He has also worked on several books, as assigned by the Office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The book titled Ethics for a New Millennium Part 2 and the book series Art of Happiness, which were jointly written by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Geshe-lam has written a number of papers for national and international conferences on topics such as the paradox of the brain and mind and ultimate reality, according to Arya Nagarjuna. He is currently working on two books, namely Journey into Paradox of Brain and Mind and What Constitutes the Ultimate Reality, the Effects of Understanding the Ultimate Reality. Geshe-lam, may I now request you to teach?
Okay.
But maybe before the teaching, Geshe-lam, can you please thank our volunteers with a small gift? Thank you.
Yes. No. You want to say something? You want to say?
So as you might be aware, at the end of June, there was a huge heavy rain in Delhi. And this was that the domestic airport roof collapsed. And here at Tushita, unfortunately, we were not spared. This meditation hall got completely flooded. And so over the last month, actually, we have renovated the whole meditation hall. And at the same time happened the offering of the fresh board paint the statues here in the meditation hall. And especially the last few weeks, so many of our volunteers and also people from outside have been coming here every day, cleaning, putting a lot of time to rearrange everything, drying things and so forth. So we would like to say a big thank you to all the volunteers who give so much time, so much energy, so much dedication. Thank you so much. And so for all of you, we have actually chocolates that we would like to give you.
Give them a surprise.
What is this?
This is for the circle.
Ah,
For the internet.
okay.
It's very important.
Yeah. Oh, this. Down, yes.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor Renugaji, and also Nicola, and all the volunteers here. And in fact, I see that there are so many people joining online. And in a way, this is a great inspiration, how much people love the Buddha Dharma, your appreciation, your enthusiasm, your aspiration towards seeking a greater purpose of life. And yes, as Professor Renugaji and Nicola both indicated, that the Tushita Delhi really went through a tough time, and Tibet House Delhi is more than happy to, in whatever little way we can be of help, we're there to be of support. I just had discussion with Professor Renugaji and the whole team, along with the volunteers, and there are so many volunteers joined to extend their hands to Tushita Center here, and that's amazing. And for all of us, what I would suggest is that how Professor Renugaji runs the center. This is something that we all need to learn, where that the overall assessment of the center is happening. At the same time, there's so much of, say, the privacy, liberty, and the leniency with the people who are here in the center. They all feel at home, not being, not being always looked upon by somebody else. Instead, feeling at home. This is something so unique of Professor Renugaji's leadership. I really appreciate it. And because of this, that all the good people are attracted, like Nicola, amazing, the person who is at the moment managing Tushita Center here as a volunteer, and then he feels so comfortably here. It's all because of Professor Renugaji's amazing leadership, and Nicola, his love for Dharma, his love to grow in his spiritual journey, to be of service to Buddha Dharma, to be of service to sentient beings. And then all these volunteers, amazing, the young people, the young minds, they're studying, pursuing their studies, their career, and so forth. It's really inspiring to see that so many youngsters, there's volunteers, they're helping the Tushita Center here, and then outside people also joined to help Tushita. So in this regard, and the Professor Renugaji and Nicola, both of them organized some presents for the thank you presents for all the volunteers. So Nicola will identify the names. Nitita. Ale. Online people want to also see you.
And some friends joining online.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just from both Gaya. Yes.
Gagan.
Come. So that way others can see you. Yes.
Gagan. Yes. Professor Nasinji. Rebecca. Servilas.
Hiding.
This has shared this with the Tibetan house team and the rest.
Koshaya, Nikki. Can someone get Koshaya, please?
I want to share this with the Tibetan house team in Samdinla.
Then actually we have Tamdenla. Tamdenla. Oh, please.
Thank you, Chabila. Las horas. No, las. Yes.
Koshaya is our team. Apurvana.
Tsongkhapa 보인다.
Thank you, Tushita.
Mhm.
And then we'd also like to thank the staff of Tibet House who came to help, and mostly Karma Sichola. She is not here today, so maybe changing Nangola. You can come and take for Karmala and for Kanbala as well.
Professor Nikwani,
Uh, Councillor Professor Nuka and Nicholas.
Professor Renuka, Nicola, please, we would like to offer you scarf as well.
Thank you so much, Professor Anwaji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, last but not the least, we have our donors here as well. I would like to thank Angela, Ashila, Bhaviti.
Thank you. Thank you, all the donors also. Thank you so much. Okay, so the teaching for today, the three principal aspects of the path, and I just like to begin by saying that let's say many of us are here for this teaching. I know that the deep inside, you are seeking for the purpose of life, including myself. All of us, we're seeking a purpose of life. Then how to, in some cases, to use this life meaningfully. And in some cases, they say we just flow with the life, how the world takes us in a flow, and then we flow with it. And meanwhile, once in a while, we wake up a little bit to say, what am I doing? And I thought that it was just like 2 days ago, but it's already 10 years past. And what am I doing? Say my life, did it really go productively, or it just passed by meaninglessly? Some of we do think in these the lines. So what I would say is that the one thing, particularly when we go into some people, when we go into, including myself, when we go into deeper reflections about the purpose of life, or we think that we're going to do dharma, and am I really doing something adequate or something the right, correct, or what I'm doing is so just meaningless. And some people not doing anything and they think that they're doing something so great. So these are all the dilemmas that happen in us. And for people who are more seriously into dharma, meaning that it doesn't mean that you just give up everything and then they dedicate your time, energy, resources, everything on dharma. This is not a connotation. Mentally, who are more serious, say, okay, now, henceforth, I'm going to stay away from doing all the bad habits, bad tendencies, and I would rather go to do something good and meaningful. And then more into studies and the practice of bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, four seals, on a daily basis, see how much I can be of service, help to somebody else, and so forth. And then meanwhile, in your dreams, for some of us, because of the change in your pattern of thinking, from more mundane to the dharma, your dreams can be very auspicious. And some people, their dreams can be extremely inauspicious. And you may wonder that, so what I think is dharma, is it really dharma? Because look at the dreams. I never used to have such dreams, very scary dreams before, very inauspicious dreams before. Now that is happening. So what I'm doing, which say according to the books like Three Principal Aspects of the Path, or the the Lamrim teachings and so forth, I just did in line with what is said there, but then these are the horrible dreams which occurred to me just since recently, since the last few days. What am I doing? Is that something good, wrong, or I'm horribly the bad person? So all these things can have, for some people, it can be very neutral. You may get a feeling that okay, I just do that, but what was the difference between me doing something extremely intensely into Dharma versus just a regular mundane life? What's the difference? You may feel like this. So the point is that that if you have done something in line with what the standard books taught us, for example, like the 3 principles of the path, which you're going to learn, and also like the Lamrim teaching and so forth, if you see that if you have been doing in line with these things, these texts, and then your dreams are very auspicious, yes, of course, it's so auspicious. But let us make it let's make it a point that we don't feel too much attached to these dreams, that then the ego can arise. Number one, if you have, on the contrary, for some people, very inauspicious dreams can happen. Very scary dreams can happen. For example, somebody is vegetarian, adopted vegetarianism, and then with intense practice of bodhicitta, retreats, studies, and so forth, then you start to have a dream where you are really, indulging into non-vegetarian foods and so forth, and you wake up and you feel that it's so obnoxious, it's so inauspicious. So what I did in the last few days, last few weeks of the Dharma seems to be so meaningless. So what I've done is no effect. Now look, these dreams are so horrific. If this happen, this is not that what you have done is wrong. So dreams can come in auspicious form. It can come in inauspicious form. So what I'm saying is that particularly people who are into the Dharma, and if these inauspicious dreams come, don't take it as inauspicious. This, in a way, is very auspicious. I remember when I must be 17 or 18 years old, in the school, TCV school, Tibetan Children's Village School, Dharamsala, and then by the standard of the normal school boys and girls, yes, I was deeply into my studies. Plus, I do a little bit of my personal, the recitation of the prayers and so forth, which the regular boys and girls may not do. I was doing those things when I was in class 10, 11, 12. And particularly when I was in class 11, I think, or 10, I used to have very extremely scary dreams. And then it so happened that there was the linking point. There was a point which made me be introduced to my teacher, one of my teachers, Venerable Geshe, and then who was the lifelong hermit. And then I reported these dreams to him, and he said that, no, these are not inauspicious dreams. These are very auspicious dreams. The dreams very scary indeed. For example, like, say, one point, me as a little boy, young boy, age 17, 18, I dreamt of, say, a ghost chasing me. And then in my hostel meaning that in my room, in the hostel, two boys sharing a room. So I went towards the altar space meant to take shelter, meant to take refuge, that this ghost should stop chasing me. And what happened was that the altar, a black curtain just blocked the altar, indicating that, no, we cannot protect you. And it was extremely disturbing, so disturbing. And then I met the teacher, Venerable Geshe, and Geshe said that, no, this is not an inauspicious dream. This is a very auspicious dream. And I said, why, how? And he said something very interesting. He said that that in fact they are the spirits who are there to take care of you. Say wrong spirits, bad spirits, they are to harm you. Good spirits, they are to help you. And the good spirits, seeing that in those days my mind was becoming more the too rational, questioning Buddhist basic teachings. And then except for my teacher, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, who was there to give the very satisfactory answers. Otherwise, all the other seniors, the teachers, they could not really give adequate answers to my questions, to the inquisitive mind of the young boy. And because of this, my thought was going to Buddhism. Is it logical? Is it sensible, logical? These were the questions coming to my mind. And then this teacher, Venerable Geshe, said that the good spirits who are helping you, they are telling you that you are going in the wrong direction by triggering all these very scary dreams to give you the warning. And later on, when I think of this, it makes sense. So, therefore, particularly, I would say the people who are going deep into Dharma, if it ever happens to have that you would have some scary dreams or inauspicious dreams, don't take them as inauspicious indications, but take them as very auspicious indications that, look, now I am 56 years old, then I was 17 years old. Now, from my many years of experience, what I can share with you is that when the inauspicious dreams, the so-called inauspicious dreams happen, keep in mind that, look, I thought that I'm such a good person with the Dharma orientation, the mind of the Dharma. But say these inauspicious dreams, these are the indication of the bad imprints. Bad imprints are also there within me. So now this is telling me that you are doing good and that you need to now work on these deeper bad imprints, which they planted in our mind by engaging in harmful actions, by triggering bad thoughts since past many lifetimes. Now is the time. Look, these are the things. These are the raw materials within your mind of the negativities which we did in the past, although you're doing good now, but then don't feel complacent. Work on to purify your negativities of the past, so that the future is going to be extremely bright. Whereas if you don't get these indications, then you will think that, okay, I'm doing good, and will not being aware of the past, the bad tendencies that we used to have. And all of us, we have been in samsara since time immemorial. We have all the bad tendencies, good tendencies, all these things are there. Our job today is to make every effort to make sure that whatever bad tendencies that we had since past lifetimes, we got rid of in this life. And these inauspicious dreams, they can be extremely the good indicators for us. This is one thing. And then meanwhile, I would say that finally, what does it mean by to give a meaning, purpose to your life? It's so important. Young people, meaning age in their 20s, they may talk about not really purpose of life, they may more talk about the career of the life. And then as somebody is settled in the career of the life, they may talk more about the purpose of life. And some people say they're already 30s, 40s, 50s, still they think that they're in their 20s, they continue to be in indulgence. That is a very sad story. Otherwise, many people, when they reach, once the career is settled, and then they go into the regular life, they see that now I have to look for a deeper purpose of life. What's the purpose of life? For these people, the question is that the purpose of life is finally, don't expect perfection. Of course, Buddhahood is the perfection, but don't expect perfection at such an early stage. So what is to be expected is that the progress that you are progressing, you are changing from negative, from something which is more negative to positive. When that is happening, we are in the proper direction. And of course, even the pace of the progress. For some people, for the time being, while everybody has the Buddha nature, for the time being, the pace of the progress can be like, in some cases, 10%, in some cases, 50%, in some cases, 2%. So whatever is the percentage of your progress, if that is happening, that's good enough. Don't try to compare yourself with other people. Comparing yourself with other people, if you feel more enthusiastic, do it. By comparing with other people, if you feel demotivated, don't compare with other people. As long as you are progressing, just rejoice in your progress. So having said this, how can we possibly create about this progress? So the Buddha taught that Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. That is, that we should seek the help of others. We should seek the help of the conditions. The first the condition that we need to seek help from is the reliable guide, the Buddha. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. In other words, somebody who can guide you in full through his or her experience of, they say, cleansing the mind of the mental defilements and letting the seed of perfection within to be exposed fully. Then the next says the dharmam sharanam gacchami, that the guide, the spiritual guide who give you who help you, that the person will help you through giving guidance. So that guidance is the dharma, following which that we'll be able to cleanse the mind, and then the purpose of your life become more and more fulfilled. Then the number 3 is how to do that. How to do that? You seek the good guidance and the teachings that we get is something very, very authentic. Then the Buddha taught Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangha. Sangha has many connotations. One, in the strictest of the form of his understanding, Sangha means somebody who has realized emptiness directly. It's not about a monastic or non-monastic. Anybody, you be a monastic or non-monastic, it doesn't matter. If you realize emptiness directly, you are a Sangha. You are the true Sangha. And then the next point is that but then who are those people who have realized emptiness directly? For that is very difficult to discern. Particularly somebody who's closer to understanding emptiness directly, they will be the best person to hide their identity. They will never disclose their reality of where they have reached. So, but we need examples. So the next is the Sangha in the form of the monastics. That is number 2. And then number 3 is that in your community, they say the like-minded people who have a spiritual bent of mind and who are like-minded. So these are your Sanghas. So in this connection, what I would like to say is that the Buddha taught that if possible, always go with good companions. If not, better to go alone than to go with bad companions. This is an extremely important message for all of us. I personally would say that all the teachings of the Buddha, be it philosophy, psychology, metaphysics, logic, whatever, they're all, somehow encapsulated in this teaching. If possible, always go with good companions. If not, better to go alone than to go with bad companions. What does it mean by that? This symbol, the seemingly so simple, how does it encapsulate all the teachings of the Buddha? So here, why do we need to go with the good companions? This question. It's because that from there, we've learned something good. We'll be inspired to do something good. What do you mean by good? Good on various levels. Very sophisticated levels to the simplest ones. Most sophisticated meaning do good to take you to your greatest of the aspiration. That is Buddhahood. That is a full awakening of your potential. And on the simplest one, where you will not end up into problems. For example, like you go with bad companions, into indulgence, into drinking, and so forth, you end up in problem. Family issues and your financial issues, all problems will happen because of that. So go with good companions. And with good companions, what's the benefit? That good qualities will be instilled within me. Good qualities. What are the good qualities? Again, the good qualities, they range from the simplest good quality of being nice, being gentle towards somebody else, to doing something like wisdom of emptiness or practice of bodhicitta. Then the practice of the consistency in your Dhamma practice, daily practice, and so forth, eventually to awaken your seed of perfection within you, that you attain the state of fearlessness and infinite happiness for good. So, how can we attain that? So they're all linked. The good things on a basic level, 1% of good thing, that is, even that is connected, linked with the 100% of the goodness, which will take you to attain full awakening or Buddhahood. So, what is that good thing? What is that good thing? So that is, we see that final our job is to attain the fearlessness and infinite happiness. And that is done. It's already there within us. We don't really have to look for it newly. For example, say, underneath your ground, there's a whole treasure, huge treasures there. And then we don't really have to go out to look for treasure. We just discover that you have a treasure, unearth it, and then you already have it. So you don't have to go for the treasure. So treasure is within us. So how to uncover this? By removing the dirt which obscures this treasure. So what helps us to remove the dirt? Only way by which will help us to eradicate the mental defilements is the wisdom of emptiness. So wisdom of emptiness, whether we like it or not. And some of us may think that, wisdom of emptiness is very complicated. I would rather do the tantra practice so that it'll be shortcut. This is like saying that, for me, ABC is very difficult. I'd like to do PhD so that I don't really have to worry about ABC. This is such nonsensical. So the point is that the wisdom of emptiness, whether you like it or not, this is so precious. But whether you like it or not, you make an impression that it may be difficult, that I may not like it. No, you have the potential to understand the wisdom of emptiness to the fullest. You have the potential. Why should you? If you say that, no, I don't like it, I cannot do it, you are underestimating your potential. So nobody can fail you. Only you can fail you when you underestimate your potential. Nobody can fail you. Only you can fail you when you underestimate your potential. So we all have the potential to understand what emptiness is. And if you find that it's difficult, try it again, and see how it works. You see that every time it becomes easier and easier. This is one point. So this is known as the liberating path, the wisdom of emptiness. This is the liberating path. There's no shortcut. Anybody who wants to get away from the fears of samsara, anybody who wants to experience the ultimate reality, it's not about whether you're following Buddha or not following Buddha. It's not about whether you're a girl or boy. It's not about whether you are rich or poor, educated or uneducated. Everybody has this potential of full awakening, and then everybody has the potential to accomplish that. So for that matter, the only liberating path is the wisdom of emptiness. This is point number one. Then this liberating path, this is like the very powerful axe to cut the poisonous tree. But to what extent this axe will cut the poisonous tree is not determined by the axe per se. It's determined by the enthusiasm of the woodcutter. If the woodcutter, the enthusiasm is extremely low, very lazy, procrastination. Okay, I'll cut it tomorrow. I'll cut it tomorrow. Then the tree forever continues to creates disturbance, skin rashes on a body. Forever, these mental defilements will they torture us. So for that matter, enthusiasm, that enthusiasm is extremely important. So what is that enthusiasm? Say, if there's a possibility for you to, say, doing a business, you will get $1 billion or $1 million. Say, with the little difference in the effort, $1 million versus $10 billion. What do you want to go for? Of course, $10 billion. But for that, we require more effort or more enthusiasm. The greatest of the enthusiasm is known as bodhicitta. That is number 2. The greatest enthusiasm to remove the mental defilements fully, so that you experience the full potential. The potential within you that it be exposed fully, that you experience total fearlessness and infinite happiness. So for that, the greatest of the enthusiasm is the bodhicitta. What is the bodhicitta? The desire, the aspiration to remove all the mental defilements, so that you will experience total fearlessness and infinite happiness. For to get this experience, of the bodhicitta, we need to have the renunciation. What is meant the renunciation? Renunciation is the aspiration to stay away from miseries, to stay away from fears. So without the experience of wanting to stay away from the fears for yourself, you can't really think of wanting to remove the fears in other sentient beings. Without that what is meant by the fear of samsara? What is meant by the fear of sickness, aging, death? For example, like the fear of cancer, the fear of the terminal illness, the fear of, say, the next birth, the fear of undesirable birth next time, and so forth. Without having that experience yourself, we can't imagine to help others that they be removed from these fears. For example, I remember I'm sure that there are many newcomers. The online, I can see the mix of the people who I already know versus some of you who are new to me. So here, offline, I see many new faces. I'd just like to share this experience. So, not experience, a small anecdote. So this anecdote is with respect to somebody. If you don't have the experience yourself, you cannot empathize others. This is the point. Okay, this is quite interesting. And there was a husband and a wife. And one day the wife was crying in pain. And the husband said, "Hey, what happened to you?" And she said, "I have a toothache." Okay, just raise hands, online, offline, both, who had the experience of toothache. What is that like? Pleasant experience? No, acutely, agonizingly painful. For me, when I go to the dentist, just to hear the sound with this machine, it just gives such a horrifying feeling, the scare, the fear comes in me. I'm sure it's the same with all of us, right? This machine, you drag it and it can touch the nerve at the teeth, the tooth, right? And then the pain is agonizing. Okay. So this lady, the poor lady, was crying after the toothache. And the man said that, "What is toothache? Tooth is just a piece of bone. Bone does not have pain." So this is the husband's response. Okay. After a few years, her husband had the toothache. And the lady said, "What happened? Why are you crying?" "Oh, I have a toothache." And the lady said, "What is toothache? Tooth is a piece of bone. The teeth is a piece of bone." The bone does not have pain. And the gentleman said that the male's truth and the female truth, these two are different. You're getting it? Male's teeth and female teeth, these two are different. Okay. So if you don't see this, so this man did not have that experience. Because of that, he could not empathize with her, with his the wife going through the pain. So if we don't have the experience of what this samsaric pain is like, then we cannot really empathize with other beings. If we cannot empathize with other beings, we cannot have bodhicitta. If we cannot have the bodhicitta, there's no way by which our Buddha, the enthusiasm will come. If the enthusiasm not there, no matter how much, how refined your wisdom of emptiness is, it cannot be used to cut the mental defilements, without which you cannot attain the full awakening, the fearlessness and infinite happiness. So with this in mind, we see that we require the wisdom of emptiness, which is the ultimate liberating path to liberate us from all the fears of samsara. Now, fears of samsara are so agonizing, extremely agonizing. So if you're well, you have a problem. If you don't have a wealth, you have a problem. If you have power, you have a problem. If you don't have a power, you have a problem. And if you're healthy, you have a problem. If you're not healthy, you have a problem. Everybody has a problem. Everybody has a problem. So therefore, the thing is that the pains are so agonizing. In the family, if the family is extremely cordial, friendly, helpful to each other, supportive, a day will come, a day of separation comes, which is so agonizingly painful. The whole life shatters into pieces and meaninglessness. And if the family members, they are not supporting each other, then every day you are in hell, you are suffering. The moment you wake up, you see the face of the other person who you don't like. So this is a problem. Then on the global level, it's extremely painful to see the uncertainty of the power. Say today you are very powerful, that tomorrow you have lost the power. This is what you are seeing now. This is the samsara. And then they say that you may be extremely powerful, so wealthy today, and tomorrow, the next day you die. Unexpected death happens. This is uncertainty of samsara. So these are the realities we need to remember. Remembering these things, then to see that I really need to look for a greater purpose of life. So that seeking greater purpose of life, seeing the reality of life, which is so challenging and difficult, that is known as renunciation. So with this renunciation, then you can empathize with other beings. For example, anybody who works on emptiness, who sees how seeing things objectively real, seeing things also solid real, and you know that they don't exist as solid real. And yet 24 hours you are in the grip of the misperception of things object real, and you see that how this misperception of the reality as object real, that triggers all our emotions, anger, attachment, craving, jealousy, and so forth. And this in turn, how they push us into the karmas, which in turn then make us to experience the undesirable results. You can see this so clearly. Whereas if you don't study emptiness, if you don't go in this direction, then we continue to dream. Then the dream decides where you will, sometimes pleasant dream, sometimes unpleasant dream, totally unpredictable. We have to suffer like this. Why should we have to be the slave of the dream? Why should we not get the freedom from this dream? Why should the dream be the deciding factor for your existence? So this renunciation, then you extend this to other beings. You feel that your compassion really grows, seeing that everybody is suffering. So, for example, let's say that when I was in my 2019, when I was 19, 20, when I first joined the IBD Institute. When I first joined IBD Institute, then I was so keen to practice bodhicitta. And then all along my life, meaning that since my childhood till on the age like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 still. But then that was when I was in 20. There was somebody in my life there who was extremely, just the mere thought of that person makes me feel so suffocated and mentally so irritable, and you can become so sour. I still remember it. Then, on the contrary, joining Institute of Buddhist Dialectics, becoming monk in the monastery, then the bodhicitta is so precious. Then I practice bodhicitta. Although the actual teaching happens after 4 years, 5 years, but I'm so keen to practice bodhicitta. So started the first year. From the first year, I started bodhicitta practice. So keen to listen to what are the techniques, what are the steps by which to reach to this final point. May I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. So with these things, and then we practice. Then the sevenfold cause and effect relation to practice bodhicitta. Say, remember all beings are one's mothers. Then what? Hey, Shalini, remembering their kindness. Then number 3, repaying their kindness. Then seeing beings in light of great affection. Next, great compassion. Next, altruism. And then bodhicitta. You're getting it? So these 7 points. Okay. So many people, when I give the teachings, the senior students, they don't dare to come to my teachings. You know why? You know why? Once in a while, I may catch them, right? Hey, what is this? Then when so they're scared even to come on the screen, right? They don't dare to come on the screen sometimes, the senior students, right? Okay. So what I'm saying is that with this, I practice this. And then they say they sing all beings. They remember all beings are one's mothers. Remember the kindness, repaying the kindness, seeing beings light of great affection, great compassion, altruism, ultimate responsibility of all the sentient beings. What do you do? May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Then suddenly this person comes. This difficult person comes in my mind, in the mind of this young boy. Except for this person. Except for this person, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. You're getting it? Okay. So this is where I was when I was just 19 years old, 20 years old. Now, if we can really understand what is renunciation, if we really understand it, then we see that everybody is suffering. Unless it's, say, for me, today, if you ask me, who are the happy people? I would say that person A, person B, person C. If I know the person, I will say, yes, person A is happy, not happy, I will say it. If I don't know the person, I will ask the person, does this person practice compassion? If this person practices compassion, 100% this person is a happy person, no matter what status of the wealth, status in the community, education level, whatever, the person's happy. If the person is not practicing compassion, the person's never happy. This I can say for sure. In other words, everybody's suffering. More the nasty the person is, more suffering the person goes through. This is reality. So with this in mind now, we can say that with your, say, little experience of the renunciation, then you extrapolate it to other beings. Everybody's suffering. But when I think of how my selfishness is torturing me to trigger all these undesirable emotions, giving rise to undesirable negative karmas, I said, no, I don't want to engage in this. But then it's happening. Why? And because I've studied it extensively, I could see the chain of reaction, how they are being triggered finally by this self-centered attitude. So then I see that anybody who is working, who is not practicing compassion, means self-centered attitude is there. With this self-centered attitude, just as the self-centered attitude, it tortures me, it tortures them also. Likewise, self-grasping ignorance, where we see things as objectively real. I meditate emptiness. Say, although I'm not supposed to be disclosing all these things, but just perhaps it can be like inspiration for some of you, that I'm on my personal retreat at the moment, and in between, Professor Renuaji requested that I come here, and then because that, the center went through a tough time, difficult time recently during the water, the rain. So just to say to be with them. So I accepted the invitation, and I'm here. Otherwise, I'm on my personal retreat. So what I'm saying is that in the meditation, I do a meditate emptiness. And then whatever little experience that I get, that some shape is coming, some shape, maybe 1% shape is coming to the mind. And then I come out of the meditation, and then reading the news and getting news from Tibet House. Although I'm in retreat, but my mind is not in retreat. Tibet House office is on my shoulder. So I'm getting the Tibet House office, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. No, it can be done like this, not, and so forth. And again, solidification happens. Everything is so solid for objective real. And again, going back to meditation, again, we see that the earlier little bit of tenderness created because of this meditation is simply dissolved. So what I'm saying is that, so from there, we see how difficult it is, how sophisticated, how complicated this self-grasping ignorance is. Viewing things object real, how sophisticated, how complicated, sophisticated it is to really ingrain our mind to see things so objectified, and then to unentangle that. It is extremely difficult. So seeing that, then when I see other people who we describe as nasty person, they are nasty because of the solidification happening to the mind because of self-grasping ignorance. So we start to feel even more compassionate, become more compassionate towards them. So with this known as the extending, empathizing with others for them are going through the suffering because of the self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. And then, so these three constitute what is known as the three principal aspects of the path. The three things that if we do on a daily basis, say you may have time, like 5 hours a day to practice Dharma. Some people, you may have time, half an hour a day. Some people, you are so busy with your university programs, or with your work, corporate work and so forth, that you've only about like half an hour a day. So this half an hour a day, if you really want to practice the Dharma, if you, me, each one of us, not just you, me included, that if you really want to make this whatever time available with you, that to be made a Dharma practice, real Dharma practice, then see that these three, this time is used for these, what is known as the three principal paths or three principal aspects of the path. These three things. If these three things are missing, no matter how much you are doing, you think that, oh, I'm doing Tantra, this practice, empowerment, and so forth. In a way, it is like, I won't go to the extent of saying self-deception. It's like wasting your time. While we have the capacity, while we have met with this teaching on the three principles of the path, at the same time, we don't do these things and look for something else as a Dharma, then we are deceiving ourselves. So with this in mind, I would say that the three principal aspects of the path, the author by Lama Tsongkhapa, this is not that some people, three principles of the path, this is Gelugpa tradition. This is our misconception. Three principal paths existed way before Lama Tsongkhapa even took birth on the planet Earth. The three principal aspects of the path existed way before the Buddha Shakyamuni was born. Let's not forget it. So some people, so we are being deceived by other people, and other people who are ignorant themselves and misleading other people. So the three principal aspects are the paths which the Buddha Shakyamuni himself practiced way before he became the Buddha. The day one, he was inspired by Arya Manjushri to generate bodhicitta. From there, he already started to practice the three principles of the aspects of the path. And Lama Tsongkhapa, he explained it so succinctly for us, making it so easy for us to practice it. So with this in mind, the text which we're using is authored by Lama Tsongkhapa, and it was done at the request of his student, Tsagopumbu, and who, in fact, was at such a distance in space. And then they seeing somebody going towards the central Tibet. That was like in the 14th century AD, about like 700 years ago, that he sent a message to Lama Tsongkhapa, please please give me a teaching, the practice of which will make me to attain enlightenment for the benefit of demon sentient beings. So, they complying with this request, Lama Tsongkhapa wrote this text. So they wrote on the three principal aspects of the path. And each of these three points, as I indicated earlier, the relevance, the importance, and so forth, Lama Tsongkhapa is going to explain each one of these three under three subheadings. What are the three subheadings? Number one, if I tell you, okay, here offline, if I tell you, okay, Sanjay ji, who I know since many years ago, if I tell you, Sanjay, you have to practice renunciation, what would be a first question? Sanjay ji, if I say that you have to practice renunciation, right? What would be your question? Or okay, so the Sanjay is saying that, do you mean to say that I have to renounce things, right? So this nice way of saying it. Otherwise, the other people, who?
Acting without attachment.
No, when I say that you have to practice, you have no idea what is renunciation. You have no idea what is bodhicitta. I said you have to practice renunciation, right? Okay, Professor Navinji, what do you say? Okay, right. Okay, this was another nice way, right? Another nice way of saying that Professor Navinji is saying that to renounce what? You're getting it? Okay, okay. Let me say. Okay, Minodiji, don't be too nice. Be very direct. Okay, if I say, hey Minodiji, you have to practice renunciation. What are you going to say? Okay, first of all, what is renunciation, right? Okay, here, Doctor Padmala. If I say, hey, you have to practice renunciation, what will you say? Okay, what do we renounce? You're getting it? Okay. Yes, over there. Okay, good. I would say, if I were you, I would say, why should I practice renunciation? Why? You're getting it? Why? Somebody says that, hey, Gisela, you have to give your mobile to me. I'll say, why? You're getting it? Why? Why to practice renunciation? This question, why? You're getting it? Then Lama Tsongkhapa explains why. Once you know why, what will be the next question? Okay, now I have to practice renunciation. Yes. Then the next question is how. Number two. Then when Lama Tsongkhapa explains how to practice renunciation, then what will be the next question? Huh? No, that is number one. Why? Right. Perhaps the senior most student. Okay, yes, over there, gentlemen. The process already explained. How? Okay, so it is similar to when. So again, now for the last many weeks, months, years, I practice. But how do I know that I have accomplished renunciation? When do I know? How do I know that I've accomplished renunciation? So the three questions, don't forget it. Number one is what? Why to practice renunciation? Number two, how to practice renunciation? What is number three? What is the measure of having generated renunciation? Let me repeat it. What is the measure of having generated renunciation? How do you know that I've generated renunciation now with all these many weeks, months, years of practice? How do I know that I've accomplished renunciation? In other words, number one, why generate renunciation? Number two, how to generate renunciation? Number three, what is the measure of having generated renunciation? These 3 points. So 3 points under the renunciation. Likewise, the 3 points under bodhicitta. Likewise, the 3 points under the wisdom of emptiness. So this is how Lama Tsongkhapa is. So we are so fortunate that on the planet Earth, Lama Tsongkhapa appeared on this planet Earth. That he left such a legacy, so precious for us, at the same time, so succinct, so easy for us, spoon-fed. If you just practice it, first of all, it makes so much sense. How? No, why? How? And what is the measure? Wow, it's amazing. Now, if I don't practice, it's my mistake, it's my fault. Then you practice, start practicing. And then all the how to practice is all so beautifully explained. You practice it, and then say, when you are shown that they say, I want to have the audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, where should I go? If you're in Delhi, from there you go towards north, don't go towards south. You're getting it? So Lama Tsongkhapa then explained, so keep going towards the north, you're bound to get closer towards His Holiness's palace in Dharamsala. So this is what it is. So with this in mind, now things are has become pretty easy. The background information already given, and we're going to read the text. So this book, okay, screen sharing. This book, offline participants, you have extra books? Okay, raise hands those who did not get this book. Raise hands. Okay, quick, Namdullah. Okay, Abhishek ji, you get? Okay, just raise your hands those who do not get this book. And this book, don't think that this book is small and you can easily get it in Amazon. You will not get it in Amazon. You will not get this book in Amazon. This is published by Tibet House. So therefore, it is your copy. Keep it with you. You're getting it? Okay. So if you want those offline, online, I'm sorry. So offline, you have whatever you got, that is your copy. And then some of you may be keen to get a second copy for your brother, sister, and so forth. If that's the case, then you have to make a special request to our secretary here. Okay. So jokes apart, the point is that this book, I would suggest this book, not just the text, short text, but this book, small book here. I would suggest you to read the preface which I wrote, and then you will know what this book is all about. But not now. Not now. That is for your later reading. So now 3 principles as to the path. 3 principles. Why these 3 are referred to as a principle is the key. Like the three pillars to build a tent. So you require minimum 3 pillars. So with any of the pillars missing, you cannot have the tent. So 3 pillars. Likewise, the greatest purpose of a life, to get rid of all the fears of life and to have the maximum, the happiness. In other words, nirvana and Buddhahood, we require the minimum of these 3 pillars. The pillar of renunciation, the pillar of bodhicitta, and the pillar of wisdom of emptiness. These 3 things are required. Okay. So it says, okay, the letters is too small. The text is too small. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I don't really have to, the screen is also there. Yeah, that makes sense. Rather than using the specs. Okay. Okay. By Lama Tsongkhapa, I bow down to the Venerable Lamas. That is yes, of course, the Guru is seen as the root, the foundation of our growth. As well as I'm able, I'll explain the essence of all the teachings of the Buddha. The path praised by the conqueror's children, entrance for those who desire liberation. So here it says, essence of all the teachings of the Buddha. Essence of all the teachings of the Buddha. The Buddha taught 84,000 teachings. Innumerable teachings were given by the Buddha. And if we are able to see them, these teachings, and if you understand the 3 principles as well, the path so well, we see that all the teachings, somehow they are subsumed under these 3 topics. So whereas if you don't understand these three teachings so well, and then you may think that, oh, there's some teaching happening there that may be more important, there must be some teaching there that may be more happening. And sometimes I'm little, say, the curious. I don't know whether it's curiosity or like what? Fun, or sometimes the amazement, or sometimes, I don't know how to explain it. Some people, they present, oh, this is a set of teaching there. This is the hidden teaching, so precious teaching. And what about the Buddha's teachings? Oh, these are all available there, but these are so sacred. It's so like the teaching of some other Lama that is more important than the teachings of Buddha. This is a disaster. This is a disaster. Sensible people will not be enticed by such propaganda. Sensible people. First, study the foundation so well, ground so well. See your own mind, how your mind behaves when in an unruly state. And then study what the Buddha taught and try to do in line with how the Buddha taught, and see how the mind gets transformed, how the mind behaves differently. Then you see that, okay, wow, it's not about becoming a Buddhist. It's about your well-being. You don't have to become a Buddhist. And if the Buddha is alive today, and if you say that, I want to become a Buddhist, but I want to experience the fearlessness, infinite happiness, the Buddha would be most happy person. That you should be freed of miseries. That's the point. Label Buddhist, remove it. So usually I say that if, for example, say if you're a Muslim, remain good Muslim. If you're a Jain, remain good Jain. If you're a Hindu, remain a good Hindu. Likewise, a Parsi, like a Sikh, or whatever religion that you're following, remain a good person in that particular religion. Meanwhile, at least by following the teachings of Buddha, you should become a good husband, good wife, good daughter, good son, good parents. Compassionate person. Somebody who can really empathize, somebody who can teach the message of compassion to your children. If that happens, if you don't know this basic thing, if you don't learn this basic thing, then there's no point in saying that I'm following this tradition, Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, Gilo. These are all just pointless if you don't know how to empathize with other beings. So these are the things. So with this in mind, all the teachings of Buddha somehow can be subsumed under these 3 points: renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. The essence of all the teachings of Buddha, the path praised by the conqueror's children. If somebody can practice these 3 things, all the conqueror's children meaning all the bodhisattvas, they were so happy to see that, wow, what are you doing? This is amazing. One time, there was a relative of mine, and who learned about renunciation, bodhicitta, the wisdom of emptiness, all these study, reflection, meditation, all the personal, all these things. And then one time he was on the assigned for work in a remote place, and in that remote place, it so happened that there was one Nyingma teacher of Nyingma tradition, and that teacher, lucky that that teacher happened to be a learned one. And this person, my friend, my relation, he went there, he heard about this teacher there. So he went to the teacher, made prestations, and request for some teachings. And the teacher said that, what you have been practicing thus far? And he explained all these things, renunciation, bodhicitta. And the teacher said that you are doing everything. You don't need anything more than if there's any teacher who said that there's something more than this is a disaster. What are you doing? It's just perfect. Don't go for anything more. This is just perfect. Go. Don't waste your time like this. Go practice these things. You don't expect any, say, don't see the grass on the other side greener. This is what he said. And then the master reported to me, and I was so amazed. That teacher is a good teacher. He knows what is Dharma. So this is the path praised by the conqueror's children, all the bodhisattvas. These bodhisattvas, when they come to know that this is what you're doing, they'll be so happy. This is what they what they really praise you for. Entrance for those who desire liberation and those who want to be liberated from the ills of life, from the ills of samsara, and from the ills of the metal stains. This is the path, the entrance. This is the only gateway. Renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness. Entrance for those who desire liberation. Number 2, listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones. Particularly, I say the Buddha remained silent for how many days after attaining Buddhahood? Hey, I will ask the senior most student. 49, thank you. Okay, so this is why the senior students, they don't come, right? So I'm glad. Okay, Buddha remained silent for 49 days, not giving any teachings. Not because that, he doesn't want to give teachings. Tell the audience that what you are otherwise going to learn is so precious. Let them feel the preciousness. Say, if this book is given free, right, most likely, I hope it will not happen here. Most likely, when all the people leave, right, 10 copies will be left on this floor. If this book is sold for 1,000 rupees per copy, or 5,000 rupees per copy, right, it will not cost 5,000 rupees. But if it's sold for 5,000 rupees per copy, right, no copy will be left on the floor. Because people feel the preciousness, the value of this. So the Buddha remains silent to tell the world that the evolved beings, they don't require somebody to tell you that this is valuable. The childish people, small childlike people, they require somebody to tell you that this is precious. For example, small children, hey, you have to go to school. Go to school is very precious. Education is very precious. But as somebody who has learned, already exposed, already know the value of the education, no, they don't require somebody to tell them that education is important. So, Lama Tsongkhapa is telling us that this is precious. Number 2, listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones. Anybody, look, this is how we are described as by Lama Tsongkhapa. Anybody who is aspired to practice these 3 points, you are referred to as the fortunate ones. Somebody who wants to get away from miseries. That is the meaning of the being very fortunate. You fortunate ones who are not attached to the joys of cyclic existence. Strive to make good use of leisure and opportunity. For example, the joy of having, let's say that the joy of having 10 minutes sightseeing versus joy of having 1 hour sightseeing. Sightseeing somebody, there are 2 people who are both so infatuated, so much desiring to go for a sightseeing when you reach beautiful places like Ladakh and so forth, and you have only 10 minutes, and for the other person you have 10 hours. Which do you prefer? 10 hours. 10 minutes too short. So therefore, say that the cyclic joys of samsara and the joy of nirvana, these 2 are incompatible. So those people who look for the joys of nirvana, they are the wise people. Those people who feel complacent with the samsaric joys, they are known as the small children. So listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones who are not attached to the joys of cyclic existence. Strive to make good use of leisure and opportunity. So in which case, what should you do? This message for all of us, you and me, all of us, that at one point, it was actually a story narrated with respect to the teachings of the Buddha in Dhammapada. There were 100 people who were going for a picnic along a river bank. And then reaching the river, 3 people, only 3 out of 100, were so keen to cross the river. And the remaining 97 people, they were so engrossed in preparing for the picnic. And the 3 of them, they are not interested in the picnic. And the remaining 97, they were asking the 3, why are you not interested in the picnic? And the 3 of them told the remaining 97 that look at the design, look at this river, the course of the river. Looking at the pattern of the river, I can see that soon there's going to be flood. There's going to be flood. We have no time for a picnic. And the 97 of the people, they said that you are disturbing our picnic. You are spoiling our picnic. If you are interested, you do your job, cross the river, but don't disturb us, our picnic. Then they were picnicking, and within the span of 1 hour, a huge flood came, and the 97 people died, and only 3 people escaped. So people who are striving, who are not engrossed in the samsaric the pleasures. So these people are looking for a greater joy of nirvana. These are the wise people. Those people who are engrossed in samsaric happiness. This is the small children like the beings, samsaric beings. So the craving for existence also binds beings. Okay, sorry. Start with that. Listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones who are not attached to the joys of secular existence, and strive to make good use of leisure and opportunity of the human existence, which have a tremendous capacity to see emptiness, to experience renunciation, experience bodhicitta, and direct your minds to the path that pleases the Buddhas. Your mother will be most happy rather than you cuddling up the, say, teddy bear, right? Instead of that, you talk about quantum physics, or you talk about what? The global warming and so forth. Your mother will be so happy, more happy to see that you are enjoying the discussion on the global warmings or the big topics rather than cuddling the teddy bear, So therefore, this is what your mother, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, will be so happy if you, rather than cuddling these samsaric joys, if you think of planning for the joys of this nirvana or Buddhahood. Okay, number 3. So now there are 3 topics, 3 subtopics under the 3 main principal paths. First one is renunciation. So for renunciation, what are the 3 subtopics? Why, how, and a measure. Okay, the first one is why. Why do we have to practice renunciation? Number 3, without renunciation, let us not forget that, okay, if I were to ask you, what's the purpose of life? Quick, resents offline. What's the purpose of life? Quick. Yes. To be happy. Anyone else? To help others. Anyone else? Quick. To realize selflessness. Anyone quick? Attain enlightenment. To attain fearlessness. Okay. So those who are coming here for the first time, right, don't think that, others have their ready-made answers, right? So we don't have something concrete to say. Don't worry, just say something. What do you think is the purpose of life? The boy over there. To live. That's interesting. To live. Okay, living, there are so many ways of living. Living miserably, and living happily. Living miserably is also living. Both. Okay, that's interesting. You want both, not only happy. Together. Some sadness is good, so to appreciate the happiness, right? So no breakfast, to appreciate your lunch and dinner, right? Okay. So the point is that we want happiness, or we want ease. Some people, they are not happy with the word happiness. We want ease, or some people may say we want fulfillment rather than the happiness is the pleasure is purely physical. It is so fleeting. So say the fulfillment or ease. Okay, how many agree with this? Resents? Good. The next question is that what degree of ease do you want? 10%, 40%, 100%? 100%, if possible. If possible, 100%. The next is it possible? 100%. There's a great Tibetan scholar, a brilliant scholar and logician, who must be in 12th century AD, Sakya Pandita, from Sakya tradition. What he said is that Kepa lobe tunadu dewa dola kemisi, dewa chunla chabati chembe dewa tomisi. That's amazing. While you pursue to become a scholar or to become a learned person, you're bound to meet with difficulties. If you are attached to your joys in the pursuit of becoming a learned person or a scholar, you will never become a learned person. Your pursuit of joy, your pursuit of immediate gratification, immediate happiness will block you from becoming a learned person. Being attached to the trivial joys will stop you from attaining the bigger joys. This amazing message for us. So, as your name? What Ashit just said is that, if possible, I want to have the maximum ease, maximum happiness. So maximum meaning 100% happiness. If this is 100% happiness when you become enlightened, when your potential inside manifests fully, that is when you attain the maximum happiness. If you go for the immediate gratification, small, trivial happiness, you will never attain that. So therefore it says that the number 3, without pure renunciation. So the questions, some of the offline participants here said, renounce from what? Not renounce happiness, renounce miseries. Renounce the causes of miseries and renounce miseries. So without pure renunciation, an end to attraction for the pleasure of cyclic existence is unattainable. So our attachment to the samsaric pleasures will continue to be there. If you engross with the samsaric pleasures, you will never attain the pleasure, the joy of the nirvana, the total fearlessness. The craving for existence also binds beings. The craving for existence, that I should have the happiness, I should exist. So that will bind us into samsara. Thus from the outset, seek renunciation. Renounce the immediate trivial joys in pursuit of the bigger joy of the nirvana. That desire to attain the bigger joy of nirvana is known as renunciation. This is why we have to seek renunciation. So don't forget this example. If you want to be freed from the flood or getting killed by the river, what should you do? Don't get attached to the picnic. Leave the picnic and cross the river. Okay. Now the next is how. The first why is done. Now how to generate renunciation? Renounce what? Renounce our immediate attachment to this life. Renounce our immediate attachment to the future lives. You're getting it? Okay, let's say that the okay, I'll give you 3 choices. One, that you'll get food from me. You'll get food from me. You don't work, right? Or you have no work and I'm giving you food. This is one choice. Okay. And the next, I say that not only today, I'll give you food tomorrow also. And then what is your next question? What about day after tomorrow? Right? Day after tomorrow also I'll give. Right? Tomorrow, day after tomorrow I'll give. What is the first one? I'll give you food today. You're not working, you have no work, don't worry, but I'll feed you today. And then your question will be, what about tomorrow? Tomorrow, don't worry, I'll give you. Right? Tomorrow, today, tomorrow. And the next is that I will give you a skill which will be of tremendous demand, that you don't really have to worry about your food. You're getting it? Your skills are in tremendous demand, so that you'll get more than what you can eat. Okay, 3 options. Which will you choose? Okay, I'll ask this girl. This girl. Okay, one of you. Last one. Why not the first one? First one is nice. You don't work. Last one you have to work. Huh? Anyone? Huh? Okay. The last one is more satisfying. Very good. Anyone else? Third one is a long-term plan. You're getting it. First one, okay, good. Today I get food, good. But tomorrow he said he'll give me. But what if he dies tomorrow? Right? If he dies, although he makes a promise, it's good. But then what about next life? Not next life. Next year. Right? What about after 10 years? Oh, he's already 56, 66, right? 66, I don't know whether he will be able to feed me. He may require somebody else to feed him. So after 10 years, then who will feed me, right? So whereas if you get the skill, long-term plan, that you don't have to worry. You're getting it? So this is the wise people's approach. Okay. So it says that they say attraction to this life is like just be happy with getting food today. Attraction for next life is like being happy for getting food for tomorrow. You're getting it? But wise people will look for long-term plan where you don't have to worry about the food at all. For that matter, what should we do? We have to, let's say that there are, say, the 10 prisons. And you are moved from one prison to prison B to prison to C to prison like this. You have been moved from one prison to the other. Some prisons that are very strict, extremely difficult. Some prisons that are more lenient. Which prison do you prefer? No prison is the best. I get it. Okay, I go to the prison which is less difficult. But then again, after that, you have to move to the next difficult prison. So the wisest people who look for the lasting long-term plan, long-term solution, exit out of prison of samsara completely. That's a wise approach. So the first one is that I have to take care of, I have to say if you have to go for long-term plan, then you should not get attached. You should not be engrossed with this life. You're getting it? Not be engrossed with this life. And then also not be engrossed with the next life. We don't have time. We have to plan for the long-term solution. You're getting it? So not be attached. For example, sometimes our being attached, it is like one time. This is very important for all of us. For me also. The one time in the winter in Delhi, how many of you know that winter in Delhi is very hot? Winter in Delhi is very hot. People who have no clue of this, you will say that yes, Delhi is very hot. But winter in Delhi is extremely cold. One time there was a small rat in my house in the winter. And this rat is very mischievous. So if the rat doesn't create any problem, I can give food, it's fine. He can feed on the food and roam around is fine. But he has become more and more naughty. So he cannot be my roommate anymore. I'm serious. If he's not making mischievous, he can be my roommate, it's fine. There were cockroaches. There were two cockroaches, they were my roommates. They were nice roommates. Because they were already old, like my age. They were already old. And they come exactly at 9 p.m. Exactly 9 p.m. like crawling. Agility was missing. From there, I could see there's my age. And then at 9 o'clock, two of them come. Couple, I know that they will not breed. They're already old. And then they come. And then they say where I said I used to eat something small pieces have fallen. They come to eat them. Okay, fine, you eat. No issue for me, no problem. You will come. And then after eating this, then again they go back to the same place. And then the next day they'll come. At 9 p.m. sharp, they'll come. They'll come to eat things. Yeah, they are my nice roommates. They were my roommates. That rat was naughty. He cannot be a roommate. Then I just kept him for 1 or 2 days, and he was really creating havoc in the room. So I said that you cannot be a roommate. So I put a trap there, and he was arrested. And it was night in Delhi, extremely cold. And I was worried. So what I did was that I put the trap on a piece of cloth so that he will not feel the cold from the floor on a piece of cloth. And the next day he was still alive, and I thought that he must be hungry. So I threw the breads, and he was not eating this. And I put some water there. He was not drinking. He was just looking for ways to escape, wanting to escape from samsara. Then I thought he must be very hungry. He's not attracted to the bread. So I threw some cheese. The moment I threw the cheese, he forgot that he was in a trap. He just got hold of the cheese and busy eating this. We are all like that. In samsara, we forgot that we are in samsara. And then what? So, lucky that, of course, I'll not kill this rat, but otherwise people will kill. So the rat forgot that he was in a trap the moment he met with this cheese. So likewise, where we are attached to samsaric existence, attached to the joys of the samsara of this life, of the next life, we will not prepare to get out of samsara completely. So without that, without this renunciation, then the possibility to be freed from samsara will not happen. Then what is that like to be in samsara? Always have to shed tears. The richest of the people shed tears. The poorest of the people shed tears. The most educated people shed tears. The most uneducated people shed tears. The most powerful people shed tears. The kings, queens, they also had to shed tears. And the poorest of the people, they also shed tears. Everybody had to shed tears. Why tears? Because of the pain. This is samsara. So therefore, the cheese makes us not get out of the tears of samsara. Wise people will see that this cheese is the bait for me. So we have to learn how to see the cheese of samsara as a bait for us. So it says, number 4, reverse attraction to this life, the joys of this life, but reflect on leisure, how leisure and opportunity are difficult to find, that we obtain the leisure, the 8 leisures, and the 10 opportunities, 10 factors for the sound Dhamma practice are difficult to find, and how our life is so ephemeral, so transitory, and without span, that if we don't use it productively, we lose it anytime. So if you think of this, the impermanence of this life, we will see that this life is so precious. I have no time to waste this. I have to use it for the good of the nirvana and Buddhahood, not just be attached to this life. So attraction to this life will be reversed. Next, reverse attraction to future lives by repeatedly thinking of the infallibility of karma and its effects and the miseries of samsara. So next life, okay, I don't really have to worry about next life. I've been good in this life. So next life, I have a favorable birth, I'll have a wealth and prestige and so forth. But what about next life? If you think like this long term, there's no guarantee. So reverse attraction to future lives by repeatedly thinking of the infallibility of karma and its results. The karma, we have done all the negative karmas and positive karmas, but although the next few lives, because of our being in dharma in this life, we may encounter with the positive results in the future, but so many negative karmas also waiting there, and what kind of karma will accumulate in the next life, that is also not sure. So therefore, that the next life, what about next life? Not sure. So what is the safest thing to do? Is it exit out of samsara completely. So that is by not being attached to the cheese of the future lives. By repeatedly thinking of the infallibility of karma and its effects, the miseries of samsara in general, then cut your attachment to the future lives as well. Number 5. Contemplating thus. So now, if you contemplate on these 2 points under the verse number 4, then our attachment to samsara will grow. No, sorry, the renunciation to samsara will grow. Attachment to samsara will reduce. So then your question is what? Number 3. Verse number 3. The measure of having generated renunciation. Not the verse number 3. Okay, who's managing this? Okay. The number 5, verse number 5. So now, what is the measure of having generated renunciation? Contemplating thus, when from I personally would say, to be very honest, I would say that in this life, there are some people from their past lives, at such a young age, like teenager, or say in the young adults, like age 20, 21, 22, and so forth, the sense of renunciation naturally comes. And they don't feel, say, they go into the monasteries and they want to go for personal retreat, long-term retreat, solitude, and so forth. These are very precious. At the same time, how many of such people are there? So rare. So majority of us, how can we generate renunciation? This is the question. So what is the safest thing to do is that don't expect each one of us to be like Jesus Milarepa. You getting it? People talk about, okay, why do you have to study all these things? We can practice Dharma and become Jesus Milarepa. It did it. Only one Jesus Milarepa. We are 8 billion human beings. Out of this, only one Jesus Milarepa. And what kind of the proclivities that this Jismilarepa demonstrated at such a young age. From there, the learned people can see that this person was somebody who practiced the Dhamma from the past many lifetimes. It's not just the beginning of the practice this life. No doubt. For some, believe it or not, when he first heard the name of his teacher, before he met his teacher, Chisun Marpa Lotsawa. Before he actually met his teacher, he met other teachers. It was totally of no effect for him. When the other teachers mentioned the prospective teacher, Jesu Marpa. The moment he heard this Jesu Marpa's name, instantly he started to feel. He just felt like choking. That he could not even talk out of becoming so emotionally feeling so attached. He just felt like crying to hear the word Jesu Marpa Lozawa. So, okay, how many of you just hearing the name of your teacher or in His Holiness and just hear his name, you felt like crying? How many? If it did not happen, then don't think that you are Jesu Milarepa. But we don't want the tears. We stop the tears in this very lifetime. But we don't want the tears. We share the same sentiment as Jesu Milarepa, that we do not want the tears of samsara, but we don't share this quality with him about the great connection with the Dharma from the past many lifetimes. That part is missing within us. But the desire to stop the tears, stop the pains, that is same with him and us is same. So for us, how to stop these tears? So the safest thing, what I would say is study the Dhamma well. Study the Dhamma well. 3 principal aspects of the path. And then Acharya Chandrakrit this text, Madhyamagatara. Then the study for Lamrim, these teachings. Study the Dhamma well. Become self-confident. Then at times, your age catches up. And then you meet with some other people who are really good in Dhamma practice. I also have to do something you know how to do. Although you have not been doing it, but you know how to do because you have studied extensively. That is a safe haven for us, all of us, including myself. We have to study so well. And then when you meet with the right person, people who are not necessarily teachers, even some your colleagues who are genuinely into Dhamma practice, who succeed in this practice, who demonstrate integrity in their practice, integrity, consistency in the practice, then you'll go, wow, that's amazing. It'll inspire you. Something will be triggered from within. I do have to do this. And then how to do? Since that you already studied so well over the last many years, you know how to do. Then you'll do it. You do it, you feel the experience. You feel the experience. This experience of the joy out of this practice will make you have the meditation being perpetuated. Perpetuation of this practice will come to us through this experience of the joy of the Dharma practice. This is so important. So with this in mind, by doing so, then the renunciation will grow within us, although you may become aged like 40, 50, 60. Okay, now I know what samsara is. Not just, samsara is full of tears. This is very superficial, deeper. The future lives. So there, the tears will never stop unless and until I wake up from the sleep of ignorance. As long as I'm in the dream decides what will happen to me in the dream. I don't have the freedom to choose what will happen to me. The dream decides. Why should the dream decide for me? Why not I decide for myself? So how can I decide for myself rather than letting the dream decide for you? How will you do that? How will you do that? How will you make yourself decide for yourself rather than the dream deciding for you? How do you make it? Anyone else? Wake up. You wake up. You wake up from the dream. You're getting it? Wake up from the dream. Why should you have to surrender to the dream? Why should you give in to the dream? That the dream decides your well-being. Why? Why not yourself? Wake up. Wake up. Wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Okay. So the question is, that desire to wake up from samsara, the sleep of ignorance, that is the genuine understanding of renunciation. So this renunciation, how do you know that you have generated this renunciation? Now look, how do you know? What is the measure of having generated renunciation? Verse number 5. Contemplating thus, when for an instant you do not admire the splendors of cyclic existence and remain intent on liberation day and night, renunciation is born in you then. Okay. When I was age, I think 5 or 6, I just craved to have some toys. How many of you had the same feeling? When you age, 4, 5, 6, you have a toy, teddy bears. Raise hands. We know teddy bears. A common toys for the people, other boys and girls. From you just wish that if this is my only, right? But for many of you, you have your own teddy bears. 20, 30 teddy bears were there with you, right? Okay. So that was the thing. Now that they say when you, now you are already grown up. You're already grown up, and how many still want to insert your career? Those in 20s, 30s, instead of career, I wish I have a teddy bear. Raise hands. Okay, I said 30s, in 30s. I'm not in 30s, right? Instead of the career, I wish I have a teddy bear, then then I get everything. Okay, so the point is that, no. So therefore, when you have the aspiration, not for the teddy bears, but for a bigger goal, which means that you're matured. Likewise, it says that contemplating thus, when for an instant you do not admire the splendors of cyclic existence, which is like the teddy bear, the joy of the teddy bear, when that does not arise, and instead remain intent on liberation, the joy of liberation, day and night, at that point you have generated the renunciation. Renunciation is born in you then. Okay, good. Number 6. What is next? Bodhicitta. Now, bodhicitta under 3 headings. So, one unique aspect of one unique quality of Lama Tsongkhapa's style of teaching is that what is easy, which you can easily understand, he will not really go into detail. He will just skip them. Where you find it so difficult to grab the meaning, he will go into detailed explanation. You're getting it? So at times, you see that some of the points, meaning 3 out of 3 points. What 3 points? Why, how, and the measure of having generated the 3 points. Of these 3 points, some of the points you can learn it by extension from the earlier points, from the points discussed earlier. So these Lama Tsongkhapa will not go into detail. Where is required more detailed explanation, you will go into this. Okay, number 6. Bodhicitta. Under bodhicitta, there are 3 subheadings. What is the first one? Why? Why do I have to generate bodhicitta? You're getting it? Okay. So one time, okay, by the way, what's the time? Okay, what is this ihi? This ihi is it telling me to stop or is continue? Continue. Okay, thank you. Your name? Nivita. Okay, so Nivita says that continue. Okay, so now why do you generate renunciation? Why do you generate renunciation? Okay. One time, one of my friends, who must be like 10 years junior to me, in the monastery. So after our graduation, many years later, he gave me a call early morning. And he said that it's very complicated now. He has to take care of his the sister. His sister just finished the training and the nursing training. Now she's going to get a job. For the job, he has to go to help the sister to identify, to look for accommodation and so forth. He said it's very complicated. I told him that, are you following bodhisattva path or you are following a personal liberation path? I said, if you're following bodhisattva path, if you are fed up, if you don't want to help your sister, forget about helping all sentient beings. If you even don't want to help your sister, who is dire need of your help, who is so helpless, who is going to a new place, which she doesn't know. She requires, even for even somebody who's very experienced, these people require help to get some accommodation. And of course, she's so young. She requires help from somebody. If the brother is not ready to help, then who will help? This is what I told him. And then if you don't want to help her, which means that you are not following the bodhisattva path. If you don't want to follow bodhisattva path, then the best thing is leave samsara. Leave samsara, go to Himalaya, practice the wisdom of emptiness, and attain liberation. But whereas, if you think of bodhicitta, if you think that you are following the Mahayana path, you have to start from helping your sister. I told him. So it says, renunciation. If not, and then he's intelligent. So he said that, yes, it makes sense. Then he becomes so enthusiastic to help his sister. Number 6, renunciation, if not tempered by the pure mind of bodhicitta, however, if you just have the renunciation without the bodhicitta, what's the problem? So what was your question? After renunciation is good enough, why should I need bodhicitta? This is your question. So without the bodhicitta, will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. What degree of happiness do you want? 50% or 100%? If possible, 100%. If they say cheesecake, you want half cheesecake or full cheesecake? Right? If possible, full cheesecake, right? Right? Everybody has a small cheesecake share. One, your share. The other person, even instead of giving you full, just gesturing to cut into half, you'll be very unhappy, right? I want a full. Okay. So if you have the potential to experience a full joy, why should you limit to only half? Why only renunciation? Why not bodhicitta? With the bodhicitta, you will get the full joy. With the renunciation, you will get only one part of it. You will not get the full joy. With renunciation, okay, if you go to a garden, to enjoy the garden, say, and you end up in the night, what do you prefer? You have there's a power cut, so you want to enjoy the garden. Will you enjoy the garden? You will not. What do you need? You need light, because it's dark. You need light, and you have a torch. You have a small torch. So a small torch, just to light one flower, will you enjoy the garden? You will not enjoy the garden, right? You will enjoy one flower. One flower is not a garden. You're getting it? So with the renunciation, you will enjoy just one piece of flower. You will not enjoy the beautiful garden of Buddhahood. And you came here to enjoy the beautiful garden of the Buddhahood. So for that matter, you will need bodhicitta. Renunciation will not take you to this. A small torch will not make you enjoy the garden. At the most, it will make you to enjoy the small flower. So therefore, renunciation, if not tempered by the pure mind of bodhicitta, however, it will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of bodhicitta. This is why the bodhicitta has to be generated. What's next? Hey, what is next? How? You're getting it? Okay. How to generate bodhicitta? For that, two methods. Sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta. Let me repeat it. Sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta, and the method of equalizing and exchanging self for others to generate bodhicitta. Let me repeat it. Hey, Rebecca, what are the two methods? Sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta, and the method of equalizing and exchanging self for others to generate bodhicitta. Thank you so much. You saved me. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay. So the two methods. So with the two methods, then the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, ideally speaking, we require two things in the training. One is to cultivate intense love and affection towards the beings. To cultivate very strong affection towards the beings. Number one. Then they say when will the mother feel so compassionate towards the child? The mother will feel very compassionate towards the child. One, the mother should love the child. Yes, you agree? If you don't love the child, you will not feel intense compassion towards the child. Number two, the child should be in a problem. If the child is not having a problem, the mother will feel okay, happy, she's happy, the child is happy. But if the child is in a dire problems, then the mother will feel the compassion will be very intense. You agree? So, to feel this compassion towards the beings, bodhicitta driven by compassion, you require to train in these two things. One is intense affection and feeling of affinity, affection towards the beings. And number two, to feel the pain of the sentient beings. The two. So what is taught here, the two methods which Rebecca indicated, which are they? Sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta, and the method of equalizing and exchanging self for others to generate bodhicitta. And if you're interested, these two recordings are all available from Tibet House, and we have Tibet secretaries here, and Tibet House RT, the staff in charge is here, Srintudula. So you can ask them, they will give you the recordings of these teachings. So first study these teachings. Study these, you don't have to practice them. Study these teachings and see if they make sense. If they make sense, you then practice it. Then you'll feel the benefit. Okay. So with this feeling of love and affection, then what is required is to see the plight of the sentient beings. The sentient beings are in a miserable state. So it says, number 7, swept up in the current of the 4 powerful rivers. How the sentient beings are suffering. They are suffering, being carried out by the 4 powerful rivers. What are the 4 powerful rivers? Number 1, these are the metaphors. The first one is the river of attachment. The river of attachment there are several versions. One version is river of the attachment of desire realm. Number 2, the river of attachment of the formless realm. River of attachment of ignorance. And river of attachment of wrong view. Let me repeat it. Okay, so the first two, attachment to the desire realm and attachment to the higher realms too. Then number the river of the ignorance and the river of the wrong view. Wrong view meaning that disbelieving in the law, disbelieving in the efficacy of cause and effect. So if you do bad things, who will punish me? There's nothing there. If I do good things, who will reward me? Right? Unless somebody sees me. Nobody sees me and me doing good things, what's the point of doing things? This is where you don't believe in the efficacy of cause and effect relationship. So the reality is that it doesn't matter whether people see, whether people are watching you or not, but if you're kind, it'll be paid in you receiving the benefits, the joys in the future. So this is reality. So swept up, why we are suffering in samsara is because of these four powerful rivers of attachment, two kinds of attachment, rivers of ignorance, and the rivers of wrong view. These four rivers, they say, if you are a piece of, let's say, if you are a piece of, let's say, the piece of a paper, and somebody throws you into this very forceful river. So what's the chance for the paper to escape from this river? No chance. No chance. So this is like us. We are being carried by these three very powerful, the emotional rivers. River of attachment to the Islam, of the desire realm, and of the formless realm, and river of the ignorance, and river of the wrong view. So tied by strong bonds of karma. And yes, and we are bound in this body by the karma. For example, say if you are ill, oh, I wish I have a better body so that I will be healthy. No, you are bound in this body. You are bound. Say they say sometimes we're acute pain. Then that in some cases you have to resort to morphine. Very strong painkiller, morphine. The regular painkillers, they don't work. The doctor is here, right? The doctor is hand. So this is even the doctors become so desperate that when the painkillers, they don't work on you. So why? And you just wish that you are out of this body, but you are bound to this body because of the karma, tied by the strong bonds of the karma. So hard to undo. Bound to the samsara, bound this body by karma, so hard to undo. Caught in the iron net of self-grasping. And self-grasping, the metaphor given is like the iron net. Say if you are encased in an iron net, it's so suffocating, so painful. This is exactly what is happening to all of us, to see that we are in the iron net of self-grasping ignorance. In the dream. Okay, how many of you, by the way, had the dream where the dream is a nightmare? Very scary dream, and somehow they say you know that you are dreaming, and you want to wake up. You want to wake up, right? And you cannot wake up. Raise hands. Yes, we have the experience. How many of you never had that experience? Raise hands. Oh, Professor, no experience. Oh, if you don't have the experience, that is okay. This little girl, you have that experience? Yes, even this little girl has. Okay, if you have that experience, then you see that to be in the dream is a problem. Yes, I should get out of this dream. To be in this dream is this fear is coming because of being in the dream. You try to wake yourself up. Sometimes you succeed. Sometimes you don't succeed. You're getting it? When you don't succeed, you feel so suffocated. You become so desperate, so helpless. I should wake up. Okay, so this like caught in the iron net of self-grasping. Self-grasping is like the dreaming, being in the dream, completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance. Completely enveloped by darkness of ignorance. Okay, just pick up something and show that to me. Pick up something and show that to me. The book, whatever you have, show that to me. And look at now. Don't look at show that to me. Look at it yourself. And how does it appear to you? As objectively real or like a dream? How does it appear? As objectively real. And when does it happen? In the daytime or in the nighttime or 1 hour in the day? Or when does it? All the time, 24/7 things appear as objectively real. This is being in the darkness of 24 hours in darkness of ignorance. This is not the reality. How we see things as objectively real, this is not the reality. This is our ignorance. And yet we are in this darkness of this ignorance 24/7, completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance. And if you get a glimpse of emptiness, then you will say that, yes, that's very true. I'm in the darkness of ignorance, self-grant. They don't exist like this. they appear as so objective to this ignorance. You'll feel it very strongly. So therefore, our job is to never underestimate ourselves, but to discover the reality of emptiness as soon as possible. Number 8. Okay. Then further how the sentient beings are suffering. Born and reborn in the boundless cyclic existence. Sentient beings, they are born, sickness, aging, death, and there's so much of pain, tears, die, again, sickness, aging, death, again, tears, again, die. This is ceaselessly tormented by the 3 miseries. What are the 3 miseries? Hey, what are the 3 miseries? Hey, Rebecca, what are the 3 miseries? Hey, you don't remember. You remember. No. 3 miseries. 3 sufferings. 3 sufferings. Hey, this is Namdullah. Suffering. Suffering change. And pervasive condition suffering. Very good. 3 sufferings. And these 3, I cannot go into detail now. We are already the time up. So we have to study these separate. 3 kinds of sufferings. Thinking of your mothers in this condition generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. When you see beings in this situation, and particularly with your own practice of how the self-grasping ignorance torments us, how the self-centered attitude torments us. When you realize this, then you see the difficult people there. They are difficult because of these 2 things. They're also under the sway. They're also under the sway of these 2 things. Therefore, they're behaving like this. They really deserve your compassion. Rather than your compassion will increase. Therefore, strive generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. This is how one generates the bodhicitta. Okay, what is next? Hey. No. So, of the 3 points, the first one, why done? Why bodhicitta done? How bodhicitta done? Now 3, the measure of having generated bodhicitta that is not done, but it's not explained here because you have to extend it from the renunciation. Just for the renunciation, when you feel this renunciation days and nights without feeling attached to the desires of the samsara, you have attained renunciation. Likewise, feeling this desire to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, days and nights, without being attached to one's own personal benefit, that is the measure of having generated bodhicitta. So that we have to extend it extrapolate it from what was discussed in the renunciation section. Then what is next? Chavi, what is next? What is next? Wisdom of emptiness. For that, the first one is why. Why we need wisdom of emptiness? Okay, why? How many want to know that? Raise your hands. Why do we need wisdom of emptiness? Okay. My question to you: How many are really fed up with the tears of samsara, the pains of samsara? Raise hands. Okay. How many of you are serious, wanting to get away from it? Right? Okay. So if you are very serious, then you have to go for this is a why to your why wisdom of emptiness. Without this wisdom, the pains will continue. Whether you're Buddhist, not Buddhist, it doesn't matter. Whether you're male, female, it doesn't matter. Whether you're rich, poor, it doesn't matter. Your pains will continue. If you want to stop the pains completely, you have to go for the wisdom of emptiness. Okay. Number 9. Although you train in renunciation and the mind of bodhicitta, without the wisdom that realizes the ultimate reality. What's the ultimate reality? That everything is like a dream. Nothing objectively exists. They are like dream. You cannot cut the root of cyclic existence. Cyclic existence meaning samsara. Therefore, strive to understand dependent arising. Try to understand emptiness of independent arising. Emptiness of independent existence. So, emptiness of independent existence and dependent arising, these are the 2 sides of the same coin. Emptiness of no independent existence means everything is dependently existent. So these 2 are the 2 sides of the same coin. Okay, so how do we see emptiness? This, don't expect in 5 minutes I'm going to explain it. Buddha remained 49 days silent without giving teachings on this. You're getting it? And I cannot teach something which the Buddha remained 49 days silent. And for me to teach in 5 minutes, it's impossible. But for us to leave a special imprint connection with this teaching, so we are reading this. One who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena. Okay, by the way, how many of you identify yourself as 29 and below? Raise hands. How many of you identify yourself as 29 and below? Raise hands. Raise hands, raise hands. 29 and below. Okay. Rebecca, you're 16? No. Okay. Okay. Yes. How many of you identify yourself as the 39 and below? Raise hands. Rebecca? Yes. 39 and below. Okay. Okay. So those who raise hands 39 and below, you have to be happy. You know why? Because you identify yourself younger in this group. Right? Okay. 40 plus, raise hands, not too happy. Right? Not too happy. Okay. Now this is very serious. I'm going to try and explain things in just a few minutes to get a glimpse of what is emptiness. Emptiness of objective reality. There's no objective reality. It's what your mind creates and how. How many of you identified yourself as, they say, those raise hands, those who said that you are below 39. Raise hands, those who said that I'm the 39 plus. Okay, so we make this demarcation, young and old. Yes. Is this an undeniable reality, or is this just the imagination? Hey, tell me, this is undeniable reality or imagination? Undeniable reality. You are getting it? Undeniable reality. This is how the conventional world operates. Undeniable reality. But do you agree with me that your age is related to your body? If you agree, raise hands. Yes. And your body is nothing but made of atoms. If you agree, raise hands. Good. All the atoms in this universe, they are same age. No atom younger, no atom older. If you agree, raise hands. No atom is younger, no atom is older. All the atoms are minimum 15 billion years old. You're getting it? All the atoms are same. So what makes you think that you are younger? What makes you think that you're older? Your body is nothing but made of atoms. The atoms are all same age. From that point of view, is this undeniable reality or not? That you are made of atoms. Your body is made of atoms. Is this undeniable reality or not? If yes, on the atomic level, all the atoms are same age. Undeniable reality or not? Yes. So undeniably, on the atomic level, we are all same age. But on the conventional level, there's another the undeniable reality that some are younger, some are older. There's also another reality there. But that reality is just a perception. On the deeper reality, we're all same age. You're getting it? But don't say that, okay, now I'm glad that I'm not old, right? I'm as young as this little girl. What is this girl's name? Krisha. Okay, I'm as young as this little girl, Krisha. Right? Don't think like this. You're getting it? I'm still 56 years old. Krisha, how old are you? 7 years old. 10 years old, just 10 years old. I'm 56 years. I cannot say I'm 10 years old. My atoms are same age as Krisha's age. On the atomic level, we're all same age. But on the conventional level, there is an undeniable distinction there. Some are older, some are younger. You're getting it? So, objectively, that this age is simply how our mind perceives. Objectively, there's no age difference. So, objectively, things are empty of objective reality. Okay. So, one who sees, yet, it doesn't mean that we are all same age. On the conventional level, there is an age difference. There's a functionality there. Cause and effect functionality is there. On the ultimate level, age difference dissolves. Cause and effect dissolves. All these realities dissolve. That is known as the ultimate reality. On the conventional level, everything operates infallibly. That is known as the conventional truth. So one who sees the infallible cause and effect on the conventional level of all phenomena, samsara, nirvana, at the same time, on the ultimate level, destroys all focuses apprehension as young, old, and so forth. Objectively, nothing is there. Subjectively, everything is there. Has entered the path which pleases the Buddhas. Why pleases Buddhas? Because the Buddhas will be most happy when your misery is dissolved. How will your misery go away? When your misperception stops. When your misperception is rectified. How is the misperception rectified? When the misperception is replaced by the valid perception of things as empty of objective realities. That makes the Buddhas happy. Number 11. Now, on the one hand, things appear as young, old, good, bad, and so forth. Then on the objective level, this distinction dissolves. So on the appearance level, appearances are infallible, dependent, and arising. On appearance levels, things exist. Don't say that things don't exist. Things are all same age. Everybody same age. Don't say that. On the ultimate level, everything is on same age. On the conventional level, there's a difference in age. Good, bad, everything is there. So on the appearance level, are infallible, dependent, and arising. But good things, but depends good thing, good causes, good the happiness results. But depends on the non-virtuous activities, the miseries arise. Emptiness is the understanding of the free of assertions. On the objective level, there's no objective reality, it's emptiness. As long as these two are seen as distinct, when you see things as functioning, then you see it's objectively real. When things are objectively real, things don't function. If these two are seen as dichotomous, if these two things are which one? Dependent arising and emptiness. If these two things are seen as dichotomous, as contradictory, you have not yet realized the intent of the Buddhas. 12. When these two realizations are concurrent, when you see that objectively, okay, so to understand this, we need to be successfully giving answers to two questions. First question is, do things exist? What's the answer? If you say no, you fall into nihilism. Emptiness is not nihilism. First question, do things exist? The answer should be yes. Only if you say yes to the first question, the second question arises, do things exist objectively? What's the answer? No, everything exists subjectively. So if you say yes, things exist objectively, you fall into absolutism, extreme of absolutism. So avoiding the two extremes, extreme of nihilism and extreme of absolutism, you're following the middle way. You're getting it? So to understand emptiness, you have to follow the middle way. If you don't follow the middle way, if you either fall into absolutism or nihilism, this is extreme. This is not the emptiness concept. Okay. So it says, concurrently destroys all modes of, okay, when these two realizations, 12, when these two realizations are concurrent meaning that these two complement each other, emptiness of objective existence and subjective functionality, these two complement each other, concurrent, where the mere sight of infallible dependent origination. Okay, infallible dependent origination is the subjective existence, and emptiness is the objective emptiness. So these two are the two sides of the same coin. Okay, do you agree with me that let's say that, okay, this flower, if this flower is lying close to you and I rush to get it and say, this is my flower, right? This is my flower. This is, in a way, what I'm saying, do you agree with me? That in a way, what I'm saying, it is not your flower. Do you agree with me or not? When I say this is my flower, in a way, what you are saying, that what I'm saying is that it is not your flower. What is your name? Krisha. Okay, so this flower lying next to Krisha, and I say, oh, this is my flower. In a way, do you agree with me? In a way, what I'm saying is that it is not Krisha's flower. Yes. But if I say it's not it's Krishna, it's not your flower, it's very offensive. So nice way of saying this is my flower, to not offend Krishna. You're getting it? So it's my flower is equivalent to saying it is not your flower. You're getting it? So the flower exists subjectively means it does not exist objectively, right? Empty of objective existence and subjective existence. Subjective existence is the conventional truth, and the emptiness of objective existence is the ultimate truth. So these two are the two sides of the same coin. You're getting it? So on the one hand, why I talk about the emptiness of objective existence, and on the other side, I'm saying it exists subjectively. You're getting these two are they do contradict, they are complementary to each other. If you see these two as contradictory, then we fall into extremes. If you see these two are complementary, this is your understanding of emptiness. Okay. 12. When these two realizations are concurrent, where the mere sort of infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys all modes of grasping through definite discernment, meaning that infallible dependent origin, what is that? Conventional truth. By seeing subjective existence, you would say you destroy the objective existence. You agree? When you say that things exist subjectively, you reject the objective existence. So simultaneously, you reject objective existence while accepting subjective existence. Concurrently destroys all modes of grasping through definite discernment. All modes of grasping, referring to all modes of objective grasping. All modes of objective grasping through definite discernment. At that time, the analysis of the profound view was perfected. Of course, don't expect to understand emptiness right now within these few minutes. You're getting it? So what I would suggest is that if you are very serious that, okay, suffering is the pain of samsara is too much, is enough now. If you really feel enough is enough, then you have to study emptiness. Study emptiness, and for that, one book that I would suggest is, technical book that I would suggest eventually to be studied is Acharya Chandrakirti's text, Madhyamika Avatara, Entry into the Middle Way. And so to supplement that, I would suggest you reading His Holiness's book, How to See Yourself as You Really Are. Let me repeat it. How to See Yourself as You Really Are. That book should be the supplement to the main book, the main text by Acharya Chandrakirti, Madhyamaka Avatara, or supplement to what? Entry to the Middle Way. Entry to the Middle Way. Okay. Next. 13. Now we're almost done. Furthermore, so what we said is that what are the two sides of the same coin? A subjective appearance and emptiness of objective reality. Emptiness of objective reality and subjective existence, these are the two sides of the same coin. And what's the benefit of that? What is the benefit of knowing these two things? This is very important for us. Okay, how many of you don't want sufferings? Raise hands. Okay, if you don't want suffering, see emptiness. Right? If you see emptiness, all your suffering dissolves. How? Say, in the dream, in the nightmare, you see a lion pouncing on you. So dream lion pouncing on you, it scares you not. It scares you. Okay. So dream lion pouncing on you is seen as dream. In the dream or outside the dream. Let me repeat it. Seeing the dream lion pouncing on you as dream happens in the dream or outside dream. Outside dream. And in the dream lion pouncing on you is seen as objectively real. So seeing the dream lion pouncing on you as objectively real is ignorance or wisdom. Hey, let me repeat it. Your mind may be hanging, I know. Sometimes the computer hangs, right? Your mind hangs. Okay, let me repeat it. Your mind seeing the dream line pouncing on you as objectively real, it happens in the dream or outside the dream. In the dream, inside the dream. Very good. And that perception is ignorance or wisdom. Ignorance. So that with the ignorance, the fear at the end, the fear arises or fear dissolves. Fear arises. With the ignorance of seeing the dream as real, the fear increases. Okay. Now seeing the dream line pouncing on you as dream happens in the dream or outside dream. Outside the dream. And that is ignorance or wisdom. Wisdom, what is the outcome? The fear dissolves or fear increases? fear dissolves. So with the wisdom, the fear dissolves. That wisdom is when you waking up. So the benefit is that by seeing emptiness, you see the dream as empty of being real. There, your fears dissolve. You're getting it? Now seeing the other side. Other side is subjective reality or dependent origination. You see the subjective reality, dependent origination, your virtues grow. You're getting it? You want happiness or no happiness? Happiness, how much? 10%, 100%, if possible 100%. If you want 100% happiness, then your happiness is a result of virtues. Your virtues should grow, right? And how to make the virtues grow? By seeing dependent origination. When you see dependent origination, your virtues grow. How? You see that if I destroy others, if I harm others, by dependence on harming others, my miseries will originate. Dependent origination. By dependence on doing good things to others, my happiness originates. Dependent origination. So knowing this, you will engage in virtues because you want happiness. So by understanding dependent origination, your virtues multiply. By seeing emptiness, your miseries will dissolve. You're getting it? So this is the ultimate goal of who? Boys or girls? Buddhists or non-Buddhists? Rich or poor? All. Powerful, non-powerful. All. Everybody wants this. If this is what we want, we have to increase our virtues and we have to decrease our non-virtues. How? By seeing emptiness and dependent origination as the two sides of the same coin. So having said this, number 13. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence. Refute the extreme of existence meaning extreme of absolutism. Emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence, which is nihilism. When I understand that emptiness arises, emptiness of objective existence arises in the form of cause and effect, which is subjective cause and effect. And so objective existence is seen as subjective cause and effect. You are not captivated by the view of extremes. So once you understand the three principal aspects of the path as such, oh my child, once you have thus realized the points of the three principal paths, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination and quickly reach the final aspired goal. Okay, for the renunciation, bodhicitta, the wisdom of emptiness, finally, we have to, say, if you're sick, what should we do? If you're suffering from something, say a very severe headache, sweating, and so forth, where you take the paracetamol, the headache subsides temporarily, again this fever comes back, what should we do? We should go to the doctor. You're getting it? And the doctor will help us to identify the cause. You're getting it? Identify the cause. Then, once you understand the cause, then what will the doctor do? Doctor will give the prescription, right? Oh, now I'm so glad after prescription, you get the prescription, you sleep with the prescription, right? Will it help? What should you do? You should go to the pharmacy to get the medicine. Oh, now I got the medicines, the bag full of medicine, sleep with it, right? Will it help? It will not help. You have to take the medicines. You're getting it? So taking the medicines is the actual practice of the three principal aspects of the path. For that, you have to get the medicines. That is the reflection. For that, we need to have the proper prescription from the doctor. That is the study, reflection, and meditation. These three should go side by side. So eventually, to take the medicines, and your tuberculosis is removed completely. So for that matter, study first, reflect, and then finally seek solitude and cultivate strong determination and quickly reach the final aspired goal. I remember when I was in my 20s receiving teachings from His Holiness on this topic. Okay, the same text, the last verse. Receiving the teachings from His Holiness on this text. I remember that this last verse, when you read this, oh my child, just if you can imagine that Lama Tsongkhapa, the author of this text, is addressing you, oh my child, you as a spiritual child, then it leaves a very strong karmic connection with Lama Tsongkhapa, so that in the future lifetimes, you'll take birth where you will actually be fortunate enough to receive teaching from Lama Tsongkhapa himself and be liberated from samsara completely. Okay, so here we're done. Good. Okay, yes, I'd like to invite some questions. Say some questions from online. Okay, 2 questions from online, offline, 2 questions offline. Okay, offline. Any questions? Okay, no questions. That's okay. One over there, Samir. Simmer a little louder. Okay, the question from Simmer is that how can we gain conviction in the efficacy of the cause and effect, particularly related to the future lives? This is a very serious question, and I would say that if it does hit you, if this question hits you, I would say that really go for more extensive studies. Don't beat around the bush. Don't waste your life, right? Don't waste your life just going for this, going for that, going for this. All of us, I personally would say that this is a very serious question. Is a very serious question, and if you get the answer to this question logically, not just through blind faith, if you get answer to this, many of the nuances of the spiritual path will be, and they become easy for you. The whole gate of the Dharma will be open to you. This is so precious. So the point is that for this first, we have to go with the gross cause and effect. For example, like they were planting the apple seeds. Don't expect the mango fruits growing out of there. If you want to enjoy apples, don't plant mango seeds. Plant apple seeds. So there's the efficacy of cause and effect. So likewise, if I always end up into drinking, no study, and expect to crack the competitive exams. What do you call these competitive exams in India? What do you call these? UPSC exam. And then always in the nightclubs, dancing, so forth. Always nightclubs, dancing, and the whole day sleeping, and then expecting you cracking the UPSC exam. This is beyond cause and effect. And whereas if there are two, one who's always doing like this, and the other who is really studying so well, so of the two, if somebody cracks the exam, for sure the one who studies will be the one, because it follows cause and effect relationship. So we have to go with these, number one. Then number two, that how the universe is operating. The big question. How the universe is operating. Say, for example, the universe today is the result of universe today, the planet Earth today is the result of 4.6 billion years ago. The planet Earth, which was a part of the sun, is a result of that. And that was a result of the Milky Way galaxy. That was a result of the 15 billion years old singularity. Cause and effect. Albert Einstein, he said there's no room for randomness. Albert Einstein. He was totally against randomness in quantum mechanics. He said that the universe operates on the basis of the physical law of cause and effect. This is Albert Einstein. So we have to study these, what is visible, and then try to expand it on a larger scale in time and in space. Then your conviction will keep growing. Otherwise, what happens is like today's very sophisticated software. If you put in the computer, 50 years old computer, it will not operate, it will not work. Not because that this software is hopeless, because the computer is outdated. So likewise, our brain needs to become agile. To understand this very sophisticated cause and effect operation. For that, first we have to train it. Luckily, unlike the computer we have to replace it. But our brain, we don't have to replace it. Our mind, we don't have to replace it. We can just make it more sophisticated. Remove the dirt. the most sophisticated mind of the Buddha is within each one of us. So the point is that start from the simple cause and effect and then extrapolate it to the bigger ones like the Milky Way galaxy and finally to the universe, Big Bang, and then see how this cause and effect is. And then also Charles Darwin's evolutionary theory, survival of the fittest concept. All these things are grounded on the cause and effect relationship. First, don't think about cause and effect of the future life, cause and effect of this life. If you're very convinced of this, then apply it to this mind. Physical to the mind. With the mind, then the future life, these two become relevant with respect to the mind. With the physical body, you cannot connect it to the cause and effect of the future lives. Good. Okay, now, okay, the Thomas from online.
Hello, everybody. In the four rivers, why the river of wrong views is separate from the ignorance? Because in my understanding, wrong views are manifestation of ignorance.
Okay, Thomas, the question is extremely good. Thank you so much. So in the four rivers, the river of ignorance and river of the wrong view, these two are, so river of wrong view is a part of the ignorance. So why should that be counted as a separate, the river? So this is a good question. For this, when I speak about the ignorance, when we speak about ignorance, we need to understand that the ignorance has multiple meanings. One is which distorts the reality, which is closely in line with the misperceiving the wrong view, misperception of the reality. It's the distortion of the reality. And there's another understanding of ignorance, which is the blurriness of the reality, the blurriness, where the clarity is removed. You're not distorting the reality, but you don't see it clear. The clarity is missing, the vagueness. That is also described as ignorance. So the ignorance, how it is described as the vagueness of the mind. This is explained by the Arya Sangha. Arya Sangha and the what is that? Abhidharma Samuchaya. Abhidharma Samuchaya. And the ignorance in the form of distorting the reality. This is explained by the younger brother, Acharya Vasubandhu, in Abhidharma Kosh. So here, we need to understand in both contexts. Good, Thomas, thank you. And maybe the last question from offline. Anyone? Okay, one here, Chavi. Okay, the question from Chavi is offline. Is that how do we know that each one of us, we have the Buddha nature? This is a very important question. This is a very important question. So, what I would say is this is so important, and I personally, I would say that since my late 20s, I started to feel that Buddha nature is with all of the beings, by seeing, not because of my special faculty or my intelligence, seeing the people in the monastery. In my class, there was one monk, age-wise way older than us, perhaps like 10 years older than us, in the same class. And then say his level of intelligence is not really good. And he really struggled so much to understand something. But he's so consistent with the class, consistent with the debates and so forth. After a while, I'm so impressed that one time when he was debating with me, that whatever he said started to make sense. I was so impressed. Wow, that's amazing. If you are being very consistent with your studies, with enthusiasm, for sure you will, your intelligence, they really becomes good. So more prominently is something which I noticed in another monk who was junior to me. Age-wise, maybe we are same, but he was, I think, class-wise, perhaps like 6 or 7 classes junior to me. And the first time when I was there, when he was debating, the questions that he asked, they were just nonsense. Answers that he gives was totally nonsense. And then the intelligent people, they will just feel that just today, not my evening will be go waste debating with him. That was the the situation with him. But he, more than my classmate, he was the one who really demonstrated within 3 years, believe it or not, within 3 years, I see that every time there was a happening, he would make sure that he would ask question. And after 3 years, wow, that's amazing. Whatever he said started to make sense. Questions, good questions. Answers, good answers. Wow, that's amazing. Then my belief in they say by perception, purely by seeing the reality. Seeing is believing. Seeing what's happening around, not informs my logical understanding, not through power of my logical understanding, but through seeing. My conviction that everybody has the Buddha nature become very strong. Then later on, with the course of many years, now after like 25, almost 30 years, being with people, seeing people, how people are growing in their intelligence, and then to logically think, all this combined together, the presence of Buddha nature in everybody is very clear, 100%. So therefore, today, if you ask me, I would say that the boys and girls, if somebody says that boys are superior than girls, I don't believe in this. 100%, everybody has the same potential. It's just a matter of opportunity. And that some people maybe in their past lives, it's not just this life, in the past lives, if they studied more, then in this life, since childhood, they may demonstrate higher level of IQ. And those people who did not really studied well in the past life, in this life, they may not display the IQ level as high. But if they study well in this life, next life, for sure, your IQ will be very high. Next life, 100%. So this is something, with this in mind, I would suggest that you also study the text by Nagarjuna, what is that? Dharma Dhatu Stava, in praise of Dharma Dhatu, that text on the Buddha nature. This is amazing. We have to study this, contemplate on this, and try to increase your knowledge, and then to see how you're growing experientially, meaning that logically you're growing, your logical thinking, experiential growing. Likewise, you can infer that even other people can also grow. Then you will start to see the Buddha nature present in everyone. Okay, anyone from offline, online, raise hands. Offline, sorry, online, anyone? The last question? If not, then we'll stop here. No one. Okay. Offline, anyone?
I just wanted to know.
One here, Professor Renugaji, and then one the young. Okay, the young boy there. Your name? Say it again. Okay. Okay, the gentleman, why don't you come here so that online people can see you? They'll be very happy. Young people are there. Okay, so I like to introduce young men here. So here, so that. Okay. Here, good. Yes, come closer. Good.
My question today.
Yes. Question.
Question is that the mind is very difficult to control, and in Bhagavad Gita in Hindu culture, that Arjuna asks Sri Krishna that although you have learned all the what is religion, what is not religion, but the mind is very difficult to control. It is just as like the wind in the air. The winds cannot be controlled inside the any box. Simultaneously, the mind also can be controlled, just like the winds of the storm. It is cannot be controlled inside the box. Same the mind. Even the perfect people also have failed to control the mind in sometimes. So this is my question that what is the any opinion regarding?
Okay, your name?
Devanjun Dey.
Devandram Dev. Devanjun. Okay, Devanjun question is that we may learn so many things. Okay, you can go sit. Devanju, thank you so much for your beautiful question. We may learn so many things, but to tame a mind is very difficult. It is like the wind. The wind you cannot really control the wind in a box. So likewise, our mind cannot be controlled. It's so difficult. This is what is said in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. This is very true. What is said in Bhagavad Gita, it is 100% true that the mind is so difficult to be tamed. It's because of this that the Buddha taught that commit no evils, accumulate as great wealth of riches as possible, tame your mind. How to do that? Tame your mind. It's not that I will not do any harm, I will do everything good. Just by saying this, it will not happen. We have to tame your mind, because your mind is the one which manages all these emotional states. You have to learn how to tame the mind. And also the Buddha said that you are the master of yourself. You are also the enemy of yourself. When your mind is not tamed, you are the enemy of yourself. This is what the Buddha taught. So what Bhagavad Gita said, this is exactly the reality. This is the reality, that the mind is so difficult to be tamed. So how to do that now? Finally, if the mind is not tamed, what's the point of discussing all this complicated philosophy? So for that matter, the Buddha taught what is known as the 3 phases of the development. Let me repeat it. The three phases of the development of your mind. 1, study. 2, reflect. 3, meditate. So the real transformation, controlling, I won't really use the word control. Controlling the mind is little negative. Controlling somebody. It's like managing your mind. Managing your mind happens on the 3rd level. What is that? Meditation. Meditation doesn't mean just sit, close the eyes and sleep, right? Many people think this is meditation. This is not the connotation. Meditation which is preceded by contemplation and studies. First, study well. Study, then with the study, what happens is that you get the information. Information is so important. Why we go to school? Why this little girl go to school? Why you go to school? Why? To get information, to get the knowledge. You're getting it? To get the knowledge. Number 1. Once you get the knowledge, alone will not help. What is that? You, after the theory class, what do? You go to the practical class. You're getting it? Okay. For after studying, then you have to go to the reflection. Reflection is to put what you have studied into analysis to see whether it holds true. Number 2. Once you see that it is true, then what do? For example, you say my hand is broken. And then the doctor heals me, my hand. Okay, now the doctor will say that my job is done. Now go to, hey, physiotherapist. You're getting it? Physiotherapist. And the physiotherapist says that, okay, so you do 1 exercise. 1, right? Then 2, right? And do it. And I cannot do for you. You have to do it. She teaches me. The physiotherapist taught me how to do this. You're getting it? After knowing this, then what you to do? Hey, your name? Hey, gentlemen. Devanjun. Okay, Devanjun, right? Once that the physiotherapist taught you, you have to do this exercise. What you to do now? You know, I know that already. Now what do you do? Huh? You have to practice it. You're getting it? Knowing is not just sufficient. Keep practicing it. After reflection, then you have to keep practicing it. Keeping practicing of what you are convinced through your reflection is known as meditation. So wisdom draw through. Number 1, learning. Number 2, wisdom draw through reflection. Number 3, wisdom draw through meditation. 3 things. Even you are learned. If you have not contemplated on, you have so many things to say, vomit, but you have not gained conviction. That is the first wisdom. First wisdom alone will not transform you, will not manage your emotion, will not control your mind. Second, you are convinced. Compassion is the ultimate source of happiness. With compassion, you'll be happy. Without compassion, there's no happiness. Nothing will work. If the compassion is missing, nothing will work. For example, say if I'm a school teacher, and the rule says, okay, the principal is there, she's very compassionate. You're getting it? Say, school rule says that in the school, in the daytime, you cannot take leave. And you are sick. Suddenly you become sick. And the teacher, in the school, he says that you cannot become sick. Right? This is because you don't feel the compassion, you don't have the wisdom. Now, if you are a compassionate teacher, while the school said is that students may tell me lies. To stop that, the school says that once you come to school and then you ask for leave, this is not permissible. But you are very different. You are not telling lies. If the person who made the rule knows that you are actually sick, the person who said that this is exception. You're getting it? So that way, that the study plus contemplation will give you confidence. After the confidence, then you have to, once you get the medicine, then what is your job? Keep taking the medicines. You're getting it? That is the meditation. Only the third level will transform you, will control your mind. But to reach that third level, you should reach the second one, which is reflection. Wisdom drive to reflection. For the second one, it must be preceded by the studies and learning. You're getting it? This is so important. Okay, thank you of all those offline, online, and Professor Rengaji. Thank you so much. And we have the Nicola also. Yes, thank you so much.
Of Tushita, we would like to thank you very much, Geshe, for taking out the time during your retreat. In fact, I think this teaching has become part of your retreat. So thank you very much. And next time when you come, I think we should continue on the theme of emptiness. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Renuaji. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all, offline, online, all. Okay, we will do a quick dedication prayer. Dedication. Okay, why not we will read this the three principal aspects of the path first, and then end with the dedication prayers as per the screen sharing. The three principal aspects of the path. The three principal aspects of the path by Lama Tsongkhapa. I bow down to the Venerable Lamas. As well as I'm able, I will explain the essence of all the teachings of the Buddha, the path praised by the conqueror's children, entrance for those who desire liberation. Listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones who are not attached to the joys of secular existence. Strive to make good use of leisure and opportunity, and direct your minds to the path that pleases the Buddhas. Without pure renunciation, an end to attraction for the pleasures of secular existence is unattainable. The craving for existence also binds beings. Thus, from the outset, seek renunciation. Reverse attraction to this life by reflecting on how leisure and opportunity are difficult to find and how life is ephemeral and without span. Reverse attraction to future lives by repeatedly thinking of the infallibility of karma and its results and effects and the miseries of samsara. Contemplating thus, when for an instant you do not admire the splendors of secular existence and remain intent on liberation day and night, renunciation is born in you then. Renunciation, if not tempered by the pure mind of bodhicitta, however, will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of bodhicitta, swept up in the current of the four powerful rivers, tied by strong bonds of karma, so hard to undo, caught in the iron net of self-grasping, completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance, born and reborn in boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the three miseries. Thinking of your mothers in this condition, generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. Although you train in renunciation and the mind of bodhicitta, without wisdom that realizes the ultimate reality, you cannot cut the root of cyclic existence. Therefore, strive to understand dependent arising. One who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena in samsara and nirvana, and dissolves all focuses of apprehension, has entered the path which pleases the Buddhas. Appearances are infallible, dependent arising. Emptiness is understanding that is free of assertions. As long as these two are seen as distinct, you have not yet realized the intent of the Buddhas. When these two realizations are concurrent, where the mere sight of the infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys all modes of grasping through definite discernment, at that time the analysis of the profound view is perfected. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence. Emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. When I understand that emptiness arises in the form of cause and effect, you are not captivated by the view of extremes. O my child, once you have thus realized the points of the three principal paths, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination, and as quickly attain, reach the unaspired goal. The dedication prayer, skin sharing. I dedicate the merit basket to twist realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times out of the holding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. Man, all lives through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect when the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, and eyes blinded by ignorance. Okay, we'll recite the mantra of the medicine Buddha. Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Yatha Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samunga de Soha Om Dare Du Dare Dure 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 Soha. Okay, thank you, Professor Inugaji. Thank you, Nicola, and everyone. And here we have the 2 books from Tibet House as a complimentary copies for Tushita Meditation Center, Delhi, for your library. And our secretary is going to hand it over to Professor Inugaji. Welcome, welcome. Yes. Okay, all those in India, good night, and those in the other planets, not planets, other parts of the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We can take care. Bye-bye.